Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classrooms. We are in the organic section, second lecture. We will be studying today IUPAC nomenclature. Now, what is IUPAC nomenclature? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It's an organization which decides or which gives out certain rules to write the name of the compounds. We know it that for the multiple functional groups, the rules that given by IUPAC, we have already studied it in our 11th standard. Still, we will be going it in the functional groups specifically. As specific functional groups, we will be studying it. Right? In it, the functional group, today we are going to have it, that is mainly halogen and hydrocarbons, the two functional groups. Right? We know it that in our 11th standard, when we were studying it related to the IUPAC, the rules that we placed it, in which we told it that the highest reactive functional group is one of the factor. For our syllabus, particularly for haloalkenes, haloarenes, this is first chapter of the organic chemistry, that is chapter number 10, haloalkenes, haloarenes. We are going to study about the halogens. So here our main functional group will be either double bond, triple bond, halogens or hydrocarbons, right? Hydrocarbons already we have studied it, alkane, alkenes, alkynes and arenes. That is the reason why it is going to be included over here. Now, the rules only for, I am not going to give you all the rules again for the multiple functional group, particularly the rules that will be applicable within this chapter, particularly for the nomenclature of halogens. We will just recall those rules. The first one, to find out the longest carbon chain, right? We know it. We will be getting it as an, maybe in the zigzag, maybe in the whatever the, I want it as an longest carbon chain. That means the maximum number of carbons that will be included in the chain. That will be our first factor. Second factor, to find out the present functional groups. Whatever the functional groups that are present in the given compound. First of all, we will have to find out whatever the possible functional groups are there in the compound. We will find out all the possible functional groups. Third factor, find out the highest reactive Now what does it mean? Which are the functional groups that are possible for us? Double bond, triple bond, hydrocarbon or halogen. The sequence out of this, we will be having it as a double bond is more reactive than triple bond. It's more reactive than halogen, which is more reactive than hydrocarbon, more than hydrogen. So this is the sequential order that we will be needing it for the reactivity order, right? To find out the highest reactive group. As already I told you, we are not discussing it for all the functional groups. We are discussing it only whichever the possible functional group. Till now we have studied halogens, hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons are included, and then we are additionally now putting it as an halogen. So we got it as in the position of the halogen. Fourth, give the number 2 carbon chain such a way that highest reactive functional group gets least number, right? So either from the left side, right side, top, bottom, from wherever we keep the number, we want it as in first of all the longest chain, and the second factor, the smallest number should be given out to the highest reactive functional group. So numbering should be done accordingly. And the last one that we will have to be dependent. This is last one for this particular chapter, right? Here the numbers, if same functional group are present, then number should be given in such a way that their sum is smallest, right? We want it as a smallest number of the sum that should be there for it, right? Now to understand these factors, we will take it as some of the examples. By taking it as an examples, we will try to understand what are these rules they want to explain. First of all, we will take out those examples which are there in our textbook, right? We will discuss them and then we will make it as a practice, as an homework with other functional groups, right? Okay, now these are the rules. Additional to this, one more rule that we will put it. If cyclic compounds are there, then we will have to use prefix cyclo for it, right? Now this is not as a specific IUPAC rule, it's a general rule that we want to use it for the nomenclature, right? So now let's take it as a practice for it. Let's do it, some of the new questions or certain compounds that are given in our textbook, and we will try to understand how the rules have been there. Let's take it as an example. CH3, CH2, CHCl, CH3. Right? Now see, we have been given out the longest chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon. So that means butane is the longest chain. Right? Okay. Additional to butane, we are having it as per the second rule. Find out the functional group. We are having only chloro as a functional group present in the given compound. Only one of it is there. Now, number it in such a way that it should get the list. Now I numbered it, I got it 3, but if I go it in the vice versa format, I am getting the answer 2. So I will write the number from right to left, right? So we got it as 2-chloro, longest chain, butane, no other functional groups. So simply the name will be given out as 2-chloro-butane. That will be the name of the compound, right? Okay. Similarly, suppose the compound is given out as CH3CCl. It's given like this. Now what does it means? Here the compound is compressed. We have to elaborate it. We will have to show all the bonds. So here what we will be getting it? First of all, we will have to expand the functional groups that are given to us. 3CH3, and this carbon is there. It's having only one valency completed by chlorine. 3 valencies has to be completed by 3CH3 groups. Now if I go it for the longest chain I am going to get it as 3 carbons. So that means propane is the longest chain. Now except longest chain, I am having 2 functional groups in it. I am having one as a methyl and another one as chloro, right? We are having it as in 2 functional groups, methyl and chloro. Number indicates that from either side, if I am going it from top to bottom or bottom to top, I am getting the second position for both of them. So the position of the functional groups, they are on second methyl or on the second chloro group. Now, if I want to write the name of this compound, I have to arrange these names in an alphabetical order. So we will get it as 2-chloro, 2-methyl, propane. So RBC name of the compound becomes 2-chloro, 2-methyl, propane. Right? Let's take it as another example. CH3 twice, C, Br, CH2, double bond, here Cl, CH2. Now this time I have included it as in many of the functional groups in it. Right? Now let's check. When we are getting this type of group, we will have to expand it. So we will get it as CH3, C, CH3, Br, CH2, C, Cl, double bond, CH2. So what is the longest chain we are going to get it? 5 carbons. So I am going to get the longest chain as pentane. Right? Okay. Now in it the functional groups I am having it as in 4 functional groups. One is methyl, one is bromo, one is chloro, and one is double bond. So that means first of all ENE is one of the functional groups which will be written as in suffix. Chloro, bromo, and methyl are the 4 functional groups. Out of these 4, which is the highest reactive? ENE is the highest reactive, so I should get the least number to it. So if I start numbering from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, I am getting the 4E. If I start it from this side, I am getting it as in 1. So I will write the position as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So position for the double bond is 1. Then I am getting it as 2-chloro, 4-bromo, 4-methyl. Right? Okay. Now we want to arrange them so that we get it as a complete IUPAC name of the compound. So first of all, alphabetically, bromo comes, 4-bromo, then 2-chloro, 4-methyl. That means all the prefix are over. Now main chain. Main chain I am getting it as an pent because ene is a suffix also present with it. So we will write it as pent 1 ene. The suffix of ene is replaced by ene. So we get it as the compound as 4-bromo, 2-chloro, 4-methyl, pent 1 ene. Okay. Similarly, these are the carbons are also indicated, hydrogens are also indicated, but in place of that, the compound can be given to you in the form of bond notations also. Bond notation means simply the bonds will be indicated. So how to get that name of those compounds? We might be given out. The compound might be indicated like this, simply, nothing, only lines have been indicated. So what you do it is, whenever I am getting this position, it indicates that there is a CH3 group, there is another CH3 group. Both these groups are attached with a carbon, right? I want to complete its 4 valency, but this carbon is yet again bonded with one more carbon, so one is left out. So we will complete it with hydrogen, CH group, right? Now coming to this carbon, its one valence is completed over here. This is shown with a double bond with this carbon. So these are the 3 bonds. So one more bond is there. So that is 4th. Now this carbon has been completed with CH3, CH3, Cl. Right? This is what the bonds are shown. Now let us arrange it properly in a straight line so that we can number it very easily. So can I write it as CH3, CH, CH3, CH, double bond, C, CH3, CH3, Cl. This is what the structure is given to you. Right? Now, what we want to do it is, find out the longest chain. So can I go it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my longest chain. So that longest chain is of pentene. Now functional group with it. One is ENE, one is chloro, and two of them are the methyl groups. Two means we don't write it separately methyl methyl. We write it as dimethyl. Right? Now numberings are given. The least number should be there for the double bond. So from this 1, 2. From this side 1, 2, 3. So 2 is the least. So this number is correct. So we get it as 2 chloro. On the second and fourth dimethyl 2, 4. So when we want to write the name of the whole compound, we write it as 2 chloro 2, 4 dimethyl pent it's a 2 in, right? So this is for the aliphatic compounds, long chain compounds. Now let us take it as in some of the example where we get it as in ring compounds. Now this is particularly benzene. This is an halogen group. So we simply write it as chlorobenzene. Right? But if I am having it as a compound, CH2, CH2, CH, Cl, CH3. So what does it choose? This cannot be the main chain. Our main chain will be this 4 carbons. Right? Okay. So if I am having these 4 carbons, the longest chain is butane. Now the functional group present with us, one is chloro. Benzene is also becoming it as a functional group, and it's an hydrocarbon. It's indicated as benzene as phenyl. Right? Now out of the chlorine and phenyl, which one will be the more reactive? Halogens are more reactive compared to that of hydrocarbons. Right? So before hydrocarbon is indicated, halogen should be given the number. So if I go it from this 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I am coming it in the reverse direction 1, 2, 3, 4, so that means the 2 is the least number, 2 chloro, 4 phenyl. So the name of this compound becomes 2 chloro, 4 phenyl butane. Okay, is it clear to write the IUPAC nomenclature? Okay, now all these were having it as a single functional groups, right? Now there is a one particular factor that we want to remember, or it's a type of classification that is indicated when you are having it as a carbon chain and the same carbon is containing 2 halogens. Same carbon is containing 2 halogens. Then only talking about 2 halogens. I don't need 3 halogens. I don't need 1 halogen. I want it specifically and only 2 halogens. Then these type of compounds are known as geminal dihalide, which is also written as gem. Right? In short, it is also written as gem. But the 2 halogens should be on same carbon. Now in place of that, if 2 halogens are on neighboring carbons, adjacent carbons, compulsory adjacent carbons, then it will be termed as vicinal dihalide, which is also known as VIC. Right? If in place of these 2 halogens, if 1 halogen is indicated over here, 1 is over here, then we don't indicate it as vicinal dihalides. Right? So this is what the one more factor that we will have to remember, that if the compound contains only 2 halogens and that also on the same carbon, then we write it as geminal, and if they are on the different carbons, adjacent neighboring carbons, we write it as vicinal, right? Otherwise, in the routine, we write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, the numbers that have been indicated. Okay, that's what we are having it for the nomenclature. Now, many of these such compounds are given in your textbook, solved, unsolved, in text question, as well as in the exercise. Number of compounds are given. Make a practice of writing the IUPAC names of those compounds, and if you are having any doubt, you know it, you can give me a call straight away and we will solve out the problem, whatever you are having it, right? Okay, the next topic, that is, we are having it as a nature of CX bond. Now what is it? The nature of CX bond. We know it that when we are having it as a carbon halogen bond, carbon is going to become partially positive and halogen is going to become partially negative because it's a polar covalent bond. This one is polar covalent bond, right? It's going to become partially positive, partially negative. But the polarity of these compounds, they are going to depend upon the halogen that is attached to it. All the halogens are going to produce polar bond, but the polarity of the molecules, this bond strength, the bond length, they are all going to depend upon the type of halogen that is attached to it. Now, these halogen can be F, Cl, Br, I. It can be either of it. Now, when we are having it as a CF, CCl, CBr or Ci, these are the four types of the polar covalent bonds that we are going to get it. Now, what will make its change? Then we can say that CF is greater than CCl is greater than CBr is greater than Ci in case of polarity, because F2I electronegativity decreases. That means fluorine is most electronegative, iodine is least. So electronegativity decreases, polarity increases. So F2I polarity, we know it that fluorine is going to be as a most polar. Now if the compound is having it as a most polar character, the bond length decreases. So CF to Ci, bond length increases. That means CF is smallest bond length while Ci is longest bond length. Now, if the bond length are increasing from CF to Ci, bond length increases, that means the force of attraction decreases. So force of attraction decreases, that means the bond dissociation enthalpy also decreases. So we can say that CF to Ci, bond dissociation enthalpy decreases because attraction decreases, so bond enthalpy also decreases. So moving from CF to Ci, bond length decreases, bond length increases, bond dissociation enthalpy decreases, as well as polarity also decreases, right? So these are the particular factors that we will have to remember, because on the basis of them the reactivity order or the reactions will be also proceeding for our further steps, right? So today we did it as an IUPAC nature of CX bond. In our next lecture we will be going through the preparation of halogen compounds. So for today, that's all. So make it as a practice of writing the IUPAC from the different examples that are given in the textbook. Thank you.